Right, you guys, this video is for you. I do not love talking about narcissists. They're not my favorite subject. What my favorite subject and topic is, and my absolute heart's desire and passion, is helping people to connect with their unconscious mind, to go within and heal from the emotional damage and wounds caused by people with these types of traits and tactics. One part of this journey, however, before you can get there, you need to be here in this awareness and in this understanding. And this is where knowledge comes in. So knowledge about the traits of that type of person, knowing about the traits of a narcissist, knowing about how you've come this far, how you've gotten to the point where you're at now, where you just feel absolutely drained, exhausted, overwhelmed, run down, feeling like you're a shell of yourself, feeling like you can't go on like this anymore, and understanding how in the world did this all happen, and realizing there is a connection to this person and to this specific relationship. So today's video, we're going to dive into how a narcissist control you. If you have been looking for information, knowledge on how does a narcissist control you, because you have now gotten to the point where you've identified that you have been in a narcissistic relationship or were in a narcissistic relationship and have no idea how you got there, because in the beginning it was so good, right? And now it's not. It very, very quickly turned around, and you're wondering, how in the world did that happen? So that is the focus of today's video. How does the narcissist control you? Today, we're going to go over 12 different tactics that they use to control you. Remember, when your soul is longing for healing, longing to feel pleasure instead of pain, true pleasure that comes from within, not that fake pleasure that the narcissist made you feel, I would love to connect with you. You can find more information about how to transform past pain to present power in the program that I have. There are links in the description below this video. But before we get into that any further, let's get into, how does a narcissist control you? What are the 12 tactics that they most use? So narcissistic control tactics have a range. They range from extremely dangerous to very subtle, covert, almost unnoticeable gestures. A narcissist plays games of hot and cold, and they do this to keep you and keep their victims feeling confused, feeling frustrated, feeling just not knowing which way is up. Because when you're confused, when you're in that whirlwind, you're easier to control, you're easier to use, you're easier to manipulate, you're easier to abuse. So you never know, am I on their good side or am I on their bad side? So knowing how the narcissist manipulates people is important for recognizing and being aware of the red flags that you see, because you see them, you feel them, but you question if you see or feel them. So here are some warning signs in how a narcissist control you. Number one, in every narcissistic relationship, you go through the love bombing phase, where they say phrases and things like, nobody understands me like you do. We have a connection that I've never had with anybody else. You are truly my soulmate. You are the most incredible person. I love you so much. I've never, ever loved anyone the way that I love you. This is what you'll hear, and what they intend and design for you to feel in the beginning, in the love bombing phase. They get their partners to make them feel so adored, so valued, so special, so unique. This is not just the excitement of entering into a new relationship. It's more than the honeymoon phase. It's more than the little butterflies that you get in your stomach. This love bombing phase is a consuming whirlwind where the narcissist bombs you, floods you with attention, with adoration, to make you feel like a unicorn. I laugh because the narcissist used to call me the unicorn, and then the new supply, he calls her that as well. But they will say things like that to make it feel like you are in the most magical relationship in the world, that you have hit the jackpot with them. So they do this by the things they say to you, the things that they do for you, the trips they take you on, the gifts they buy you, right? There's a connection to all of the 5 love languages that are used in the love bombing phase. And this leads to the second way that they control you. The second tactic that they use is they make you dependent. You probably heard that term and that phrase, codependent. They make you dependent on them in so many ways, on so many levels, mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, oftentimes financially as well. So they make you depend on them. And the more levels that they can make you dependent on them, the more control they have over you. Many narcissists are incredibly talented, intelligent, good looking, and charming. They may even say things to you like, I don't want you to feel like you have to work. This was both narcissists in my past, the covert and the malignant. So it doesn't matter which one they are. They will make you feel like this. I don't want you to have to work. They'll make you feel that the job and the position that you have when you come home and you kind of complain about your boss because the situation is not ideal, that you don't have to go through that suffering and that struggle, that they don't want you to go through that they will support you. They will take care of you, that through them and with them, you don't have to worry about that. You don't need to be subjected to that because you're better than that. So they'll say things to you like, you don't have to work. I don't want you to have to worry about money. I don't want you to have to deal with that. You know what, every day. You are better than that. I want you to go do what you're really called to do, what you're really meant to do. I want you to truly live your passion, your purpose. They'll tell you to quit your job and go back to school and that they'll support you. They'll tell you to go after your dreams and chase these goals and start your own business, that you don't have to worry about anything. I will take care of everything. So at first hearing this, you go, oh, truly relieved. Oh, wow. You really love me. You would do that for me. And at first you may be smitten by this generous offer to take care of you, to assist you, to support you. Be careful, because what they're really doing is making you completely dependent on them. This is where I got stuck in the first experience with this, with the first covert narcissist. Shortly after agreeing to this, I was discarded. With the second narcissist, I chose to leave and I found myself in $15,000 worth of debt because even though he told me he would take care of me and I should go do all these things, I was using my own credit cards to pay for everything with his promise of taking care of the payment each month. That never happened. The narcissist wants you to feel like they completely and fully support you, and that through this decision that they support, you will go be happy, you will go be successful, and everything will be taken care of. All your worries will be washed away. And they want you to feel so good that you take that bait. So be careful of that. That is a control tactic and a very, very hard one to see when you're in it, because it's connected to such good feelings of, wow, you would do that for me. The third tactic that they will use is to isolate you. They want to isolate you. Isolate you makes you, in their goal in doing this is to take you away from others who support you, who are going to shine light on the way they're treating you and how they're treating you. If they can pull you away from those people who see the truth and are trying to tell you about what's really going on, then they have more control over you. So they will try and isolate you from others. They will do this by belittling people, by talking badly about them. And these can be people that you have had in your life longer than you've had the narcissist in your life. They want to get you away from them. They want you to be theirs so that you are completely dependent on them, because then they can more easily get into your mind because you're not connecting with the minds of others who love, support you. So they want to isolate you from others, and they'll do this by things that they say, also things that they do, right? They'll say things like, your mom, really? You really think that she has your best intentions at heart? Or with friends, why are you still friends with her? I mean, every time you talk to her, every time you get off the phone with her, you feel so bad about yourself. You're always complaining about her. She never is showing up for you the way that you show up for her. They really make you question that person, whether it's for friend or family, their support for you, and make you believe that they're not supporting you, that they don't love you, that they don't care about you, and that they wouldn't do the same for you, those things that you do for them. Even your boss, they'll use this at work. They'll say, oh God, your boss is such a, you deserve so much better. You don't deserve to be treated like that. So they're going to isolate you away from your family, from your friends, from your job. So if any of those comments sound familiar, comment below what you've heard. So a compassionate friend, they come from a place of genuine care and concern. The narcissist is not coming from a compassionate place or coming from a control place. So keep that in mind when you're feeling like, why does this person not want me to be around them anymore? What's really going on? What's really going on is that they're trying to isolate you from the very people who are going to help you get out of that relationship and stay out of it and not go back to the narcissist. So narcissists do not want you to receive outside influence, especially if it clashes with their opinions, which it always will, because their opinion is that you should only be dependent on them. So they'll try to get in the middle of your relationships, and they will make you suspect of other people's behaviors. They will make you question what that person really meant. This is called gaslighting. It's a powerful manipulation tool that the narcissist will use. And they use it to get into tactic number 4, the way that they control you, is they literally try and control your decisions, your moves, your thoughts, your feelings. So they do this because then you feel bad, then you feel guilty, then you feel less than, then you feel that you've done something wrong. And knowing you are a kind, caring, compassionate, loving person, and your self-esteem is just being torn to pieces, of course you don't like that feeling of it being torn to pieces. So you're going to do whatever it is in your power to put it back together, which means serving and pleasing them. So they are trying to control your every move, your every decision. Usually narcissists find people-pleasing types who don't want to deal with excessive conflict or distress. They're peacemakers, they're fixers, they're empaths. Generally, narcissists find people who are kind, caring, loving, forgiving, compassionate. So with the narcissist being able to connect with people like this, most narcissists hold very extreme opinions about what they think and what they don't think is permissible. And if you go against those beliefs, their thoughts, their opinions, their wishes, you are going to be made to experience serious consequences. And the most seriousness of the consequences are the ones that impact you emotionally, energetically. You begin to believe that you are helpless, that you are hopeless, that you are worthless, that you are good for nothing, because the narcissist literally controls your decisions. And so you go back and forth, you begin to flip-flop, you begin to waver on all your decisions. You begin to look in the mirror and get dressed in the morning and hate what you are wearing and ask them, do you think I look good in this? Do you think I should wear this? And then they'll respond with, I don't know, why are you asking me? Why would I care? All those little tiny things that add up to be very, very big things. And this leads to control tactic number 5. They will respond passive aggressively. So not everything is very overt. So many of their tactics, especially the passive aggressive one, is very covert. Narcissists manipulate in many, many ways. So they tend to rely on passive aggressiveness to make you and others feel ashamed, feel confused, feel like you have no confidence, that you don't know and you need to check in with them, because as long as you check in with them and you do what they want, everything's going to be cool, calm, kosher. You're not going to rock the boat. And they'll do this by telling you very passive aggressive comments or phrases. Like they'll say things like, I don't care. Really? Do whatever you want. And you're thinking, well, I only want to do what's going to make you happy. I don't really care about what I want. I just care about you being happy. And they'll say things like, do whatever you want. I don't care. And you're thinking, well, why would you not care? Do you not care about me? You don't love me? Or they'll say things like, I'm not mad. I'm not angry. Why would you think I'm angry? Why? What do I have to be angry about? What'd you do? And you're Like, what do you mean? I didn't do anything. Or even if it comes to simple things like, what are we having for dinner tonight? And they're like, I don't care. It doesn't matter what we have for dinner tonight. And so you go out and get something, or you begin to make something, and then they blow up and they're like, really, that's what we're having for dinner? And you're like, I asked you what we wanted. So that's what passive aggression feels like. It's like, no matter what you decide, you made the wrong choice. And even if they explicitly told you they don't mind what you have, or they don't care what you have, they do. So this is passive aggressiveness at its finest, and they use it against you. What this does is it really, really cuts to the core of your self-worth, your self-belief, your trust in yourself, your confidence, your ability to feel assured in yourself, feel safe within yourself, to speak up, to speak out, to share your opinion without the fear of backlash, of getting belittled and criticized and put down. So it is so imperative, if you're in a narcissistic relationship, to find a safe way to get out and then do the inner work to heal from the unconscious and inner emotional damage that's done, because you feel wrecked when you are coming out of a narcissistic relationship. You feel like, who am I when I'm not depending on a person who's going to use, abuse, and manipulate me? They will do this. You'll see this, how it shows up in the relationship with the next control and manipulation tactic. That is them throwing extreme tantrums. It's literally like a 4-year-old child not getting their way in the candy aisle of a store, but they're a 40-year-old instead. So what happens when you don't let them control you, when you begin to set boundaries, you are going to trigger their inner rage. Rage comes from suppressed anger. A narcissist has a lot of suppressed anger and a lot of expressed anger, and they throw extreme tantrums. You already know that if you've been with a narcissist, and you more than likely try and tiptoe around the narcissist to save yourself the drama. But no matter how quietly you tiptoe, you cannot save yourself from the drama. And you don't want to solve any problems. You don't want to make things worse. Who would want to make their life worse? Nobody. So narcissists use this threatening nature of explosive tantrums as a way to scare you. Because if you believe in your mind, whoa, wow, and that wasn't that bad. I mean, how much worse could it really be? They want you to have the fear of God inside of you, because then you'll tiptoe around them. Then you'll continue to coddle them. Then you'll continue to allow them to do the things they do, because you don't want it to get worse. You don't want to deal with the backlash. So them throwing extreme tantrums has you afraid that it could be even worse, and keeps you in your place in a way. Another control manipulation tactic they'll use is to change tactics very quickly. So they'll go from complete tantrum throwing, rage and anger, to being nice, not being bothered, not really caring about it, and not making that huge show. And you're thinking, wow, they're really getting better. I told them what was bothering me, and they said they would work on it. They said they would get better. They said they would start talking to someone, go to therapy, whatever. This is a part of the hot and cold games. And this is what drives victims crazy. It's what used to drive me crazy. One moment they're telling you how much they hate you and they can't stand you, and they wish that you were not existent on this planet anymore, and you're beginning to believe that, yeah, maybe they're right, maybe the world would be better off without me. And the next moment they're telling you how much they love you, they're buying you long stem roses, they're sending gifts to your house, they're being so sweet, so kind. The person that they were in the beginning, that person you fell in love with, the person in the love bombing phase that they were. And then they're calling you selfish and crazy the next moment, because you begin to feel a little bit more safe in the relationship. It's getting back on track. So you begin doing things that you like to do. And then all of a sudden they're calling you selfish and crazy. And so they're playing these hot and cold games. They change tactics very, very quickly to keep your mind confused. You're thinking, what just happened? Did I seriously do something wrong? Are they just overreacting? And it turns out narcissists love. They do love. Narcissists do love. I have another video. Can the narcissists actually love? Yes. They love and enjoy remaining mysterious. They love remaining unpredictable. That is one thing that they do love, because that leads to them being able to control. So if you know exactly how they're going to respond, they lose valuable momentum. So they keep you guessing on how they're going to respond. So don't be surprised if the narcissist flip-flops and rotates between different behaviors, and you get this person one day and you get this person the next day. It's all part of who they are. They want to keep you guessing. They want to keep you on your toes, because then you are stuck in the game of wondering, well, maybe they're getting better. Awesome. This is what I've always wanted. I don't want our kids to come from a broken home. I don't want another failed relationship. We have so much together. We have so many things we were looking forward to. I don't want to give all that up. They don't want you to know what lies ahead. Hi. They're fun, aren't they? Manipulation tactic number 8, making you feel sorry for them. They are going to play the victim. Do they have this perfect sob story about their childhood, about their upbringing, about their ex, about what they went through, about their mom, about their dad, about their job? Do they have shameful trauma that they share constantly? A terrible story about their ex and what their ex did to them, a story that immediately puts you in tears, making you cry and going over and just, oh, I'm so sorry you went through that. That rips open your heart because you're a loving person and you would never, ever, ever want anyone to feel what they're sharing with you that they felt. This is all for attention. Narcissists love attention. I told you they love attention. Even if it's negative, they don't care if it's positive or negative. Attention, attention, attention is what they love. So they will get this attention by gaining empathy, by gaining sympathy, by gaining pity from others, and dramatizing parts of their past, parts of their story. They will tell you whatever they need to tell you. A lot of it's made up a complete lie. Some of it will be truth that is embellished, bedazzled, right? There are half truths mixed in there. Regardless of what they're telling you, the motive is simple. The motive is crystal clear. They want you to feel bad for them. They want you to excuse their terrible, horrible behavior because you can say, well, I totally get where they're coming from. If I had gone through all that, I would probably feel this way too. No, complete BS. Just because you had a bad past does not give you the right to abuse. It's not an excuse to abuse. But they hope that you believe this story, that deep down that they are just a misunderstood individual who just needs love and approval. And if they receive that approval and love, they won't be this way anymore. And if they get you to believe that, you will give that. So that is 100% absolutely a control and manipulation tactic, is making you feel sorry for them. There are many, many people on this planet who have gone through horrible things in their past and do not treat people in their present that way. Okay. So number 9, they will find everything out about you. This generally happens in the very beginning, in the love bombing phase. They love to find everything out about you so that they can use it against you later. So in the beginning, in the love bombing phase, you think, wow, this person is such a great listener. This person really cares. This person is truly connected with me. The narcissist is enamored with me. And you probably don't call them a narcissist in the beginning, but you feel that in the beginning that they're enamored with you, that they want to know every last thing about you. They want to know everything about your past and your relationships and your family and your upbringing, all of your likes and all of your dislikes. And in the beginning, you feel, wow, this person really, oh my God, they're my soulmate. They just want to get to know me. We talk and we text for all hours of the day. I finally feel like it's okay and it's safe to open up and be vulnerable to someone. For the first time, you might feel genuinely safe with another person. This is part of the control and manipulation tactic. And they will use all of your disclosures, everything you've told them about your deepest desires. They will later on use them against you because their motives are not kind-hearted. They want to discover your weaknesses. They want to discover your triggers. They want to discover your flaws so they can use them against you later on. And they can, and they will. And when they do, it hurts. It's like your soul is pierced. So understand this. If you have been through that experience, So have I, so has everyone that I've worked with. You can heal from this, and it does not take decades. It doesn't take more self-help books. It doesn't take medication, and it doesn't take knowing more about the narcissist. That's why I really don't like videos like this, because they highlight the narcissist, and the true path to healing is to become as aware of yourself and healing those inner emotional wounds as you are about the narcissist. You got to stop making it about them and begin to make it about you. Anyways, getting off that soapbox, into tactic number 10, feigning other crisis. So at first, this control tactic may seem so confusing that you don't even realize that it is intentional. This may play out in a couple of ways. You may start calling out the narcissist on problematic behavior. You may realize something is off in this relationship and start Googling and come across the term narcissist. You may even tell them you're a narcissist. You may even begin going to therapy, and the therapist will point out, sounds like your partner is a narcissist. And maybe you're very calm when you do it. Hey, I was, studying and reading this book, and I came across this term, and it seems like that maybe is what's happening in our relationship. Maybe you even have the evidence you need to file this claim, and you say, look, all of these things that you did, these are the same things that someone with narcissistic personality disorder does. You may confront them in a number of ways. You may confront them calmly. You may get into a raging argument and then call them a narcissist. So, how does a narcissist respond? Stonewalling, silent treatment. They divert. They begin talking about something else, something completely tragic that just happened, or something really strange that leaves your mind going, why are they talking about that? My ex was military. I'm not saying all people who are in the military were narcissists. If that's the way you're taking this, you're taking it the wrong way. But he would suddenly start talking about the anniversary of a death of one of his buddies that he deployed with, and making it seem like, even though it was 10 years ago, make Instagram posts about this person's death and RIP, and then go get belligerently drunk, pass out, treat me horribly, say things, and then say that he didn't remember and it was this person's death. And I have no idea what that's like. And if I only knew what that was like, to begin to make excuses for the abuse. So they'll do off things, begin talking about really weird things or strange things or things completely unrelated or something very, very tragic. So they'll start to tell you that their mom has died. I got that too. I'm like, wait, what? Hold on. Why are you just now telling me this? And they'll get you to think, why are you just now telling me this? Or what does this have to do with that? That they want to talk about this further, but they need to go deal with that first. And you're thinking, okay, they heard me. They do want to talk about this further, but they need to go deal with that first. This is a diversion tactic to get you away from that. So of course, some of the crisis or the tragedies that they bring up may be coincidental, but majority of the time, you can bet that they're not. But if this is a repeated pattern, like it was when I was with the last narcissist years and years ago, it's just another sneaky form of manipulation. It was as if every time we needed to talk about something, or I presented evidence that, look, you're a narcissist, I would get one of these crazy stories about a buddy, or about, there was one time, I have brain cancer. I have to go to the doctor. I have to get a scan. What? You have brain cancer? Did you think that was important to tell me? And can I go to the doctor with you to make sure you're going to be okay? No, it's fine. I don't want you to worry about me. They're going to take care of it. I've got the best doctors in the country. And you're just sitting there like, whoa, okay. Feeling confused, and then feeling bad that you brought that up in the first place. That is a control and manipulation tactic. Tactic number 11, narcissists need this constant approval, constant approval, because approval from others is an external validation. They are so emotionally and deeply damaged internally themselves that they need and will do anything to seek and gain that constant approval from others. So the narcissist constantly feels terrified that you will leave them. Their greatest fear is the fear of abandonment and the fear of rejection. They are so deeply and deathly terrified that you are going to leave them at any moment. Abandonment represents the ultimate form of rejection, and they refuse to be rejected. So they are fully prepared to reject and abandon you so that they don't have to feel you rejecting and abandoning them, because they already feel that intensely internally. They fear it above anything else. The narcissist's number one fear is the fear of abandonment, because that's the ultimate form of rejection, and they need constant approval. Are you going to leave me? 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 And they will try and create it. I remember the ex-narcissist saying, it's still, I would leave you if I were you, why would you want to be with someone like me? I'm just a F up. I'm just a screw up. I'm nobody. I'm no good. So that you say, oh my gosh, no, you're not. You're not a mess up. You're incredible. You're amazing. I would never leave you. I understand what you've gone through. They are doing that so they're getting approval from you to see where you are, to almost a temperature gauge to test the waters. Are you really going to leave them, or can they suck and pull you back in and get you to feel bad for them so that they know that you're still on the hook and you're not going to leave them? Narcissists put loved ones through vigorous tests. These tests can often be called loyalty tests. They do this to affirm the commitment of the relationship. So if they test you and you say, oh my gosh, I would never leave you. Why would you ever say that? I love you. We can work this out. We can get through this. This is a test. And these tests may be consistently repeated. And you're wondering, why do you always ask me if I'm going to leave you? I've told you I'm not going to leave you. They're asking you if you still love them. These tests can be extremely destructive. They're checking in on your whereabouts. Who are you with? When are you going to be home? And you're thinking, I told you I was going to go out with my friends tonight. We're just having dinner. And then you leave dinner early because you say, oh, okay, you guys, I got to go. And then that's a test of the loyalty. And when they do that, they get that external validation and that approval from you that, oh, I have so much control over them. I can make them leave their dinner with their friends early to come home. And they do this just to make sure that you're not with someone else, even though they not know that you're not with someone else. So needing constant approval also becomes a form of control, because you start feeling guilty when you do anything for yourself, when you go out to dinner with friends, when you go to the gym to exercise, when you go get your nails done, when you go get your hair done, and they're messaging you saying, hey, what's taking so long? And you're like, it's only been an hour. Like, I'm still in foils and processing. And then you have to send a selfie and a picture of yourself in the chair with all the foils so that they believe you, even though they never believe you. When you get home, they're like, yeah, right. You just sent me that picture. You took it before and you sent it later. You doubt your motives and you become paranoid that you're doing something wrong, even when you know you're not. This is a control and manipulation tactic. And then one of the biggest ones is pretending to change. This can be one of the most crushing and devastating forms of narcissistic control, is that they will go to great lengths and great efforts to pretend to change to get you off their back. They will, if they know that you want to get married, if they know that you come from a string of failed relationships and your last marriage and relationship didn't work out, and you ultimately crave and desire a family, that's all you've ever wanted, and you want to get married again, they will begin talking about marriage. They'll go out and buy the ring, and they'll talk about how they're going to propose to you and how it's going to be so incredible, what your life is going to be like together. And okay, let's do it. Or they'll tell you, I'm ready to have a baby. I have a daughter, absolutely love her. She's my world. She's my why. And that was something that I divulged in the beginning of the relationship. I think first or second date, I want to have a baby. Cool, let's do it. I'm like, oh my God, you would have a baby with me? I just came out of almost a decade-long relationship and that person didn't want to have a baby with me. You do? Wow, you must really love me. So this is what they'll do. They'll pretend to change. They'll tell you when they don't want to have a baby, and all of a sudden, yes, I'm ready to have a baby. Let's start our family. And you're thinking, we always have arguments over this. What happened? Suddenly you do want this and have a baby, or you want to move, and suddenly they'll start to tell you, even though you've had so many arguments about the move, that they're ready to move. Let's do it. Let's go look at houses. And then they'll pull the houses up on their phone and begin looking at houses. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, they're really changing. Ah, and you feel like you hear angels singing. Ah, they're not. They are not. So when the narcissist is pretending to change and appearing to make genuine efforts to improve themselves, this is a control manipulation tactic. When they begin to seem to understand where you're coming from and all the ways that they've hurt you, and to begin to seem to care deeply about the relationship, what ends up happening is that they don't stick to their word. They don't follow through. Actions and words don't match. Here are their words, blah, 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 word salad, blah, and then they don't follow through with their actions. They only change, which is not actually change, because the best apology is changed behavior, and they'll say sorry, and they know they've hurt you, and they're going to change. They only change until they know that you're sticking with them, because they fear that you're going to leave them. Remember, the abandonment, the rejection is their deepest fear. And then they go right back to life as you know it, business as usual. Even if they made serious, big commitments like getting married and moving and buying a house and having a baby, that does not mean that if those changes are made, that their personality will change. Hope you heard that. That does not mean that even if they make those big life changes, that their personality will change. Do not do what I did. Do not have a baby with a narcissist. If you've already had one, join the club. But now you're even more trapped if you don't understand this before them. Narcissists see people as property. And if you have a child with a narcissist, they see people in their environment as an extension of themselves. They are the very center of their world. They literally believe that this is them and this is the world, and it revolves around them. They consider themselves to be idols, and other people should bow down. Other people should praise them. They have completely distorted, irrational minds and ways of thinking. And to them, it is perfectly acceptable to use others, to abuse others. It's perfectly acceptable to control other people and to treat them as property. People to narcissists are personal property. They consider themselves experts on how other people should behave. So you need to listen to me. And if you don't, you're going to pay the price. So remember this. At the core and the root of all this for them is abandonment. If you want to know what's in a narcissist's heart, it's not love. It's abandonment. And abandonment is a fear of betrayal, a fear of rejection. And that is where they're coming from. So if you don't agree to their demands, they are going to be conniving, coercive, threatening, manipulation, because they're coming from the core and the root of the fear of being abandoned and rejected. And abandonment is the ultimate narcissistic injury. And when you abandon them, you're going to be met with narcissistic rage, and they will do whatever they can to avoid that pain that they already feel, avoid feeling more of. So narcissist control, that connection is powerful. And it's one of the things that you will most struggle with when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, because they have such an extreme, extraordinary sense of entitlement. They truly feel that they deserve special recognition for their superior intelligence, for their incredible personality, for their talents. They feel that this gives them the inherent right to exploit others. And it doesn't matter. You, children, family, it doesn't matter. They feel entitled to do this. They do not have genuine empathy, and they will not respect someone else's boundaries or autonomy. And they become very, very jealous. They become possessive, and they show this through the tactics that we talked about here. So yes, narcissists are control freaks. And if you are with one, I highly, highly encourage you to become aware of the type of relationship that you're in and to seek support, seek help, get out safely, create a plan. Depending on where you're at in the relationship, it doesn't mean because you've made that decision that you're going to get out tomorrow. But once you're out, once you're safe, once you're in a new place, please, please, please do the inner work to heal the emotional damage and wounds that were caused not only by that relationship, but those wounds that were there prior that led you to being in that relationship and staying in that relationship for as long as you did. And please, please, please don't jump into another relationship. The advice that I was given that was that the best way to get over someone is to get under someone else. I did that. I took that advice and I found myself in the arms of another narcissist. So that is why I'm so passionate about getting this information out there. And more than that, about connecting with people and guiding them on this beautifully divine inner journey to do the unconscious work to heal after having been raised by a narcissist or with a narcissist. So if you're interested in transformational healing, I'd love to connect with you. There's more information on my website. But until then, I hope you have found this video about the 12 tactics, the control tactics that narcissists will use very, very helpful for you, regardless of where you are on your journey. All right, guys, take care.